Today is a huge day for Ripple and XRP. In today's video, we're going to be breaking that down. We're getting dangerously close to the moment we've all been waiting for since December 20th, 2020. Some exciting news. In this video, I'm also going to show you what's actually happening in the ecosystem. As you look this way, there's another narrative going on this way. As they tell you Bitcoin's a fraud, but blockchain and DLT are here to stay, they're building the whole infrastructure and going to catch you on the back end. My name is Coach JV. We've today helped over 6,618 warriors worldwide since 2020 break free from the just over broke paradigm. In our academy, we have our 5 pillars of wealth. We also, I'm now a licensed insurance agent, help people understand the infinity banking concept. I have a team of professionals that can help break down the understanding there is no get rich quick family. It does not exist. We can get wealthy for sure by understanding how the money mechanisms work and working harder on ourselves than we do anything else. A lot of people are trying to get rich in crypto. You're going to get wealthy if you do it correctly and understand. But wealth is only wealth if it's maintained. So in the description down below, 7 days for free in 2023. Get in the game with the 6,618 warriors worldwide that have been helped since 2020. All right, so let's dive right into it. So, man, this is getting really, really exciting. Congratulations, first of all. If you've been in this since 2020, 2019, patient, persistent, some of you have been in this since 2017, 2016, and even beyond that. But do you guys remember the day, December 20th, 2020, when Jay Clayton initiated a case against Ripple? I'll never forget that moment. I got tons of messages, XRP, what's going on? I said, I'm holding on like a tick on a dog. I'm an intelligent investor through the book, Intelligent Investor, focused on real world solve, intrinsic value, cryptos, and investments. Okay. I don't do my investments based on emotions. I do my investments based on real world solve market value, cryptos, and investments that are going to help my family in the future pass down generational wealth. So cryptocurrency is a very, very speculative asset. We're going to break that down because within America right now, we're having a civil war with cryptocurrency, not only within the ESG and social, geopolitical, and the whole we're not going to get to that part of it, but even in the cryptocurrency space, we're starting to see civil war and separation. But this is all by design. We're heading to really bad economic policies. Our country is buried in debt. And the American banking system, the traditional banking system in general, is in a liquidity crisis. So they're panicking big time. So the big wigs that have been holding power in the industrial era for a long time are panicking in the banking system. They know that the policies have run out. They don't have any more policies to fix this. And they know that DLT, distributed ledger technology, and on-demand liquidity is the solve. But what's happening is we have a gentleman in office called Gary Gensler who is switching his whole narrative, but it's all based on politics and money. He's trying to destroy the cryptocurrency industry and pull everything back under the banking system. Elizabeth Warren is trying to attach crypto to fentanyl. It's a methodical, planned out process to try to get you out of the decentralized system and get cryptocurrency into the centralized system. So this came out yesterday. So the House Republicans introduced a bill to remove the SEC chair, Gary Gensler, and restructure the agency. So now what we're seeing, now we need to sit back and grab your popcorn, guys. This is where things are going to start to dip because Elizabeth Warren's attaching crypto to fentanyl. You got the actual the system going against itself, right? And so you're going to see a lot of volatility. People are scared of cryptocurrency right now. So it says the bill would add a 6th commissioner and prevent any political party from having any more than 3 seats on the body. And we all know that's what this is about. It's about politics and power. And we're the, what do you want to call it? We're the victims of it. Okay. But if you know the game, you won't get played. You have to understand when things get very volatile, you should be buying. And when everybody's getting excited next year, you should be selling. You do not want to be holding on when everybody's in euphoria. When you're at the grocery store and you hear the grocery store clerk and people in line talking about Bitcoin and Dogecoin, you need to start exiting and start getting into things that are real world. Insurance, building wealth and protecting your wealth with insurance. That's how I do it. Precious metals, real estate, investing in companies. Okay. So it says right here, Rep. Warren Davis of Ohio and the House Majority Whip Tom Emmer introduced the SEC Stabilization Act that would restructure the SEC and remove Chairman Gary Gensler from his post. These are all just words, right? This is exciting stuff, for us, and it looks really good, but it's just all words, right? We'll see what actually happens. Money and politics will always go hand in hand, right? Whoever controls the money controls the information, controls the people. So this is from his Twitter right here, Warren Davis. It says, news today I filed an SEC Stabilization Act to restructure the SEC and fire Gary Gensler. U.S. capital markets must be protected from tyrannical chairmen, including the current one. It's time for real reform and to fire Gary Gensler. It says U.S. capital markets must be protected from tyrannical chairmen, including the current one. This is why I'm introducing the legislation to fix an ongoing abuse and power and ensure protection that is the best interest of the markets for years to come. It's time for real reform to fire Gary Gensler of the SEC. Who knows? We'll see what happens, guys. All I know is that wherever you follow the money, you can follow the power, right? So this is where the exciting news comes in today. Bill Hinman, the Ethereum free pass emails will be released tomorrow. This was a digital asset investor. He's one of my favorite out there. The very few people that I follow, he's one of them. And I appreciate him. I met him personally. He's a great human being. So Bill Hinman, Ethereum pass emails will be released tomorrow. And that was yesterday going into today. Let's review the ETHgate timeline and the parties involved. So I highly recommend you slow this video down. You click on this and take a look at this. This is really cool. It breaks down all the way from 2018 and it breaks down the whole timeline. And it says R3 lawsuits settled with Ripple before and during after the timeline. Ripple and the entire crypto industry, besides Ethereum and Bitcoin, have been begging for regulatory clarity and got nothing but enforcement actions. We need a level playing field and the SEC that doesn't pick winners and losers, which matches up perfectly right now with the House Republicans going after Gary Gensler, right? So this is, I don't know if this is a political theater, if we're being played and we're watching this. And what it does tell me is there could be a case settlement coming. There's a lot of pressure, but let's really look at what's happening. Let's look at what truly is happening. Okay. So as we're all distracted looking this way, thinking cryptocurrency is a fraud, JP Morgan turns to blockchain, $4 trades in India hub. JP Morgan and Chase are tied up with 6 Indian banks to introduce blockchain-based platform to settle interbank dollar transactions in the nation's newest international financial hub. We will be running a pilot project for the next few months as we need to analyze banks' experience. Senior country officer of India Vice Chairman, Asia Pacific at JP Morgan said in the interview, the banks include top private lenders like HDFC Bank Ltd., ICICI Bank Ltd. And Axis Bank Ltd. Look them up. They're massive private banks. Yes Bank Ltd. And Industine Bank Ltd. In addition, JP Morgan's own banking unit, Gift City, he said. So if you take a look at it, Onyx is doing its thing out there in the marketplace. JP Morgan, 6 Indian banks to settle dollar trades on Onyx blockchain system, says Bloomberg. Guys, this is all a distraction. Look over this way. Crypto is not going anywhere. Here's the thing. As we look at cryptocurrency, you have to look at it as a very speculative asset. You can't be married and attached to these emotionally. If your emotions look like the stock market, if you're attached to it and your emotions look like the stock market, you're going to get wrecked in crypto. Okay. We're all waiting for a savior. We're waiting for crypto, 589 XRP, whatever. People say Bitcoin to 1 million. Don't focus on the actual value where you think it's going to go and bank your retirement off that. Look at it as a very speculative asset that has no regulation right now, that is going to go parabolic next year after the Bitcoin halving. That's a cycle that's not going to break. It's going to happen again next year. As it goes parabolic, you should be exiting. Okay. I'm holding 50% long term. I'm using Merlin, our revolutionary app coming out. I'm going to exit 50% of my portfolio on the way up. As everybody's getting excited, I'll be selling. Okay. Target, boom, a 10% of my 50%, another 10% of my 50%. And by the time everybody's in euphoria and comes sliding down the back end, I've already pulled profits. I've already secured into IUL policies. I'm waiting to borrow against my IUL policies to maybe buy some new assets. And then I'll buy the dip with my new cash generating assets. Remember, in the banking system, and I was just going to show you, this is not very exciting, but this is like what's happening in the SWIFT system. I just wanted to show you that in markets, ripe opportunity, there's 10.6 trillion opportunity in these markets, right? So let me dive into this and share with you guys some things about the banks, right? So let's talk about a bank account, right? So a bank account is a fixed account. So I want to break this down, okay? So you go into a fixed account. So we've been taught to go to school, get a job, we get a paycheck trading time for money, right? You'll always be broke if you trade time for money. Warren Buffett says if you can't make money while you're asleep, you'll always be broke. The only way to make money while you sleep is to get wealth, you have to make money while you sleep. It doesn't mean you have to own a company. You can be an investor, dividend stocks, right? If you're in the capital markets. So let me explain this. There's a fixed account. So you go to school, you get a paycheck, you trade time for money. You put your direct deposit into a fixed account, a bank account. And you've been taught by all these, financial people, save your money in a bank account. Well, they're giving you like 0.025%. So if you have $100,000 sitting in the bank at 0.25%, they're taking your money. That's called a fixed account. Okay, you're taxed now on that 0.25%. They're taking your $100,000 and they're lending it out to the next person, making a spread from the 0.25 to the 12% they lent out. So do the math on that. 11.25 spread, if I did that correct, 11.75 spread on your money. And they're also taking your money, they're putting it into index accounts and the capital markets, which are variable accounts. Then there's variable accounts, okay? So variable accounts are like, let's just say the 401k or the stock market or crypto. Variable means they go up and down based on the market and the market value based on emotions, right? That's what market values are. They're emotions. It's up and down. It's like based on valuation cycles, policies, interest rates, all that stuff, right? So there's a variable market. So what you do, what we're indoctrinated to do, all of us, when we're learning to get out of this, is we go to school, we get a job, trade time for money, we put it into a fixed account. And then you take a little bit of your paycheck and you put it into a 401k. So they're taking your money and managing it. You have no idea where it's at. So they put your money and put it in a variable account. And that variable account is making their brothers and sisters much more wealthy. They're taking your fixed money and they're making themselves wealthy. Then you have another bucket called indexed accounts, right? And so that's what people call the infinity banking concept. I'm using IUL, Index Universal Life, right? It's indexed to the market, right? It gets market-like returns, has a guaranteed principal. That's the key, protecting your wealth. It's not sexy, but it has caps on the earning you can do, because they would lose their ass if the stock market gained 18%. They'll put a cap at 10% because you have a zero floor, right? So would you rather put your money into a fixed account? If you had $100,000, you're ready to put in a fixed account where you're making 0.25%, and put your money in a 401k where you have no idea where it's allocated and you get penalized to use it during your living time of your life, and you get taxed on the back end. Fixed accounts, you get taxed on the back, variable accounts, you get taxed on the back end of your life. Fixed accounts, you're being taxed now on the money earning, or you can put it in tax advantage index accounts, right? So instead of if you have $10,000, $100,000 sitting in a savings account, you can take that money and put it into an index account that's indexed to a variable market. You have a zero floor, you're protecting your principal. So if your 401k comes lapsing down, you're locked in, it's your principal, right? Then when the markets come back, you go back to earning again, and then you can borrow against yourself, right? So these are some of the concepts that we have to rewire our brain, right? That's what the wealthy are doing, right? They're not letting their money sit in a bank account. They're putting it into real estate. They're putting it into index. They're putting it into businesses. They're putting their money to work all the time. So that's what we have to break free from, right? We have to get out of this thing where we're trading time for money. Then when we get paid, we put our hard-earned money into something that we have no idea if we're going to. Just look up how many people retire wealthy. Very few people retire wealthy. People who retire with 401ks and pensions aren't retiring to live their life, the best life. Some people that are super disciplined. I mean, you'll find a story. I mean, I'm sure you can find, and somebody will comment down, oh, there's a story of the janitor. Yeah, that very, very few people like that, right? We go to school, we get a job, we get a grade point average in school, right, for memorizing. And then after we get a grade point average, we get a credit score, and that's deems you a good citizen or not, right? And then you get a 72 month on a $50,000 car when you make $30,000 a year. You're borrowing against your future self. So you're already hurting your future earning potential because you're borrowing against your future self, hoping that you'll make enough money to pay that off. And then we get a 30-year mortgage. I have a 30-year mortgage, but I'm just saying we get a 30-year mortgage. We extend our mortgage out 30 years, right? So now we don't even ever own our home. We don't ever even own our car. We're borrowing against our future selves, hoping that we'll beat inflation and get a raise, which you don't. And so we're in this vicious cycle as America. Well, we're buried in debt. American debt is higher than it's ever been right now. They can bail themselves out. You can't. You can't just print money at your house and pay off your friends and family, or buy junk bonds from companies that are failing, or give your friends junk bonds to keep them going, but they can. So it's not about going against anybody. It's understanding the mechanisms of money, how money actually flows through the system. That's how I went from being broke 4 years ago to where I'm at now. And the next cycle with cryptocurrency, I cannot wait till next year, because that's where we start our generational wealth cycle, because we have the foundation set up. We have crypto, We have our businesses. We have 9 companies coming up. We'll have equity in 9, 3 are in cash flow right now, or in, yeah, earning potential. So we have 4 sources of income now. So 4 sources of income. And then we have our insurance, which is our indexed, right? And now I'm starting to head into real estate for the depreciation because of the earned income now. And then we have some precious metals. And then most of all, we focus on self-development. So those are the type of things we talk about in the academy. We have the 5 pillars of wealth, but most of all, we work harder on ourselves: nutrition, subconscious mind programming, creating a vision for our family. So I hope this information reaches you well. I just want to share with you guys, it's about rewiring your brain. You know, I'm 47 years old, and when I end up on my parents' couch, I was 41. And it's nothing, my parents didn't do anything wrong. They're doing the best they can with the resource they had. They were taught a certain way of living: go to school, get a job, make sure you pay your bills, stay on time, don't question the system. Well, there's no wealth in our family. So I'm the generational shifter. As you are, you're probably watching it this long. Comment warrior, because you truly are the warrior. So I hope this information reached you well. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Love to have you part of our family. In the description down below, as we always say, warriors, rise, get your shit together. Let's go.